very proud of teams that have fought through COVID and played. UNLV lost 33 games this year to COVID. 33 days without a game, but yet they've come back. And they've won 5 in a row, and they host one of the best mid-majors in the country, Utah State. Hi there, folks. Welcome back on campus. He's Doug Gottlieb. My name is Darren Sutton. And when you think about what UNLV has done, it's astonishing. You lose all those games, right? And all those days to COVID, you come back, you've won 5 in a row. But now, that back-to-back against Utah State is different. No one else does this, right? But the Mountain West, it's a huge challenge now for UNLV.
It is a huge challenge, Darren. And also keep in mind, in the Mountain West Conference, there's a top and a bottom, right? And we saw Colorado State, who's near the top, go in and house Boise State tonight, right? You got Colorado State, you got Nevada creeping in there. And people wondered, where was UNLV, right? Are they in the top or are they in the bottom? Well, they clearly separated themselves from the bottom. And by beating USU, they're putting themselves near the top. Can they do it 2 nights out of 3 against the Aggies? We'll find out tonight.
Boy, great insight there to set you up for the games. Brock Miller, Raleigh Worcester, Marco Anthony, but Nimi Keita, who's the man you want to watch. He's worth stopping by on his own. And Mbake Zhang has his hands full. Of course, David Jenkins Jr., a big-time scorer at 14 points a game. Bryce Hamilton, nearly 20 points a game.
Yeah, Sheikh Mbake, one of the reasons that UNLV can compete with Utah State is Sheikh Mbake Zhang, because physically he can match up with the physically imposing Nima Keita.
Keita can pass the basketball. He can rebound. Certainly, he is a double-double machine. On any given night, he could have a triple-double as he asked for the ball now. And he is immediately double-teamed and shoved into the corner. UNLV choice 1. It worked.
Well, last game, they didn't double-team Keita. First touch, outside the block, right, where it's usually we don't double. They doubled on the bounce. So let's see if UNLV continues to use that as their game plan. They're going to double Keita.
Moses Wood helps to run the offense up top. Number 1 on that gray jersey. Turned over. And right into the hands of Raleigh Worcester, young man out of Montana who played just about every sport when he was growing up in Montana.
And he looks like he grew up in Missoula, Montana, didn't he? Right? Like he's a freshman, rocking a beard. Played 2A basketball last year. Now he's playing in the Mountain West.
And Worcester earns himself a wide open look. A nice pass, but he comes up empty. Worcester is a unique player. Averages 10 points a game. Shoots 26% from 3. Shoots about 1/3 of the time from long distance. Raleigh Worcester, as you said, the freshman, shares the basketball a ton. Has 54 assists this year. 5 wins in a row for UNLV. Tried to put his hands on the basketball in Mbake Zhang, and it's taken away. Reaching in, swiping it, Justin Bean.
Now 2 possessions, 2 turnovers for UNLV. That is suboptimal.
Utah State feeling it, certainly. A couple of days ago. It's not that it was a stunning loss. I mean, UNLV was an underdog in the game. But Utah State is a strong team. They're physically strong. They're mentally strong. They win games with their defense, as Anthony comes up a little bit firm. They did their thing defensively, did Utah State, but they still lost.
Or they just couldn't make a shot.
I mean, it is rare, Doug, for them to lose a game when they hold an opponent under 60. I mean, incredibly rare.
I don't believe it's ever happened before when Craig Smith's been the head coach at Utah State.
Yeah, they were undefeated, as a matter of fact. You're exactly right. I love how you pay off my number like that.
Okay. I appreciate that. I was like, he's getting to the number. He's getting to the number. He's getting to the number. All right, I mean, you want me to get to the number? I'll do it, Darren.
Anthony fouled on the hardwood. Our Lincoln keys to the game. What do you got?
Well, for Utah State, I do think they need to establish Nimi Keita early. And for UNLV, you have to adjust to the adjustments. Utah State played a different style of defense in the second half the other night than they did the first half. They switched 1 through 4. We'll explain what that means as the game goes on. Now, are they going to go to switching 1 through 5? Are they going to stay home? You're UNLV, you got to, how are they playing defensively this game? What did they work on yesterday at practice? And how can we adjust? What are the reads that we have to make?
Marco Anthony went off the other night. He has a bucket number 44 in that navy blue jersey just a moment ago. He went for 18 with 9 rebounds and 3 assists. Wood drops that one in. The Tulane transfer, who, again, the other night had 10 and 6.
Well, he's somebody they've been waiting to have him break out. Because in warm-ups, in layup lines, he looks like he can really shoot the basketball. Reputation-wise, just hadn't shot it well so far playing hits a big one early.
He's an interesting player because of that length and that size. He leads his team, UNLV, in shot block percentage. And yet he can do what he just did from 3. That one is banged home. That's Justin Bean. That's a great all-around player as well.
Justin Bean is like the perfect college basketball player. Can guard every position, tougher than a $2 steak, and can make a shot.
Kind of a working man's Gordon Hayward, who came out of the mid-major level.
Easy on the Gordon Hayward.
Kind of a working man's. I went with working man.
I'll find a better comp at some point.
Think it through for me. Think it through.
I mean, Gordon Hayward got to a national championship game, a lottery pick, and I'm not going to averaging about 28 a game this year for the Hornets. I'm going to
keep thinking it through for me, though. You got a guy for me, I'm sure.
I do. And you saw Wood on the jump shot, playing the stretch 4. You don't want to shrink 4. You want to stretch 4.
Wood averages 5 points, 4 rebounds a game. And then, as you said, that limited playing time, 8 blocks overall. Double team doesn't matter. Steps too many, though. Nimikata with a traveling violation. A quick reminder who he is as a player. 12 points, 9 rebounds a game. By the way, he's second on the team in assists. Doug and Darren back in Vegas. Let's get to know Craig Smith. First of all, he's won a bunch at Utah State, 66-20 in his time there. He did great work in the Summit at South Dakota, and he is the reigning Mountain West Coach of the Year. TJ Otzelberger is the head coach of UNLV, and this is a head coach that is 93 wins deep into his college career and 54 losses. Started as a high school coach, Burlington Catholic Central in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And of course, Craig Smith worked under our teammate at Fox, Tim Miles, at Mayville State and at Colorado State. Head coach for a while at Mayville State as well. A lot of coaching out there in the Front Range. Beautiful country and pretty good basketball.
And with the ball in his hands right now has really grown Nick Blake and has done good work since we saw him about a week ago. Blake just continues to get better and better. Whistle into the corner. There's another look at Craig.
I mean, he has done a spectacular job. I hope, and I think people in Logan understand this. When Tim Duryea was relieved of his duties, there was a lot of talk. Utah State, man, you can't compete in the Mountain West Conference. They were so dominant in the Big West for years, and that's more kind of low major. When they came in to the Mountain West, that's when the league was at its absolute peak. New Mexico winning the league year after year with Steve Alford. UNLV was rolling, and of course San Diego State had it rolling as well, and they were buried at the bottom of the league. But they did open the new practice facility. You had the help of maybe your greatest player in the history of the program, who's now playing in the NBA, and then you add in the coaching acumen of Craig Smith with Nimikata, who comes over from Portugal, and it has been a magical 2.5-year run.
Really well put. Kata, a guy you can build around, selfless in his approach. Bean grabs the offensive rebound and quickly turns it into a bucket.
I told you, Justin Bean does a little bit of everything. I am sad that Diego Brito is now playing in the Spanish second league, having a very good year, because I love the Bean Brito combination.
Understood.
Who doesn't like Bean Brito?
Understood. Blake comes up empty that time. Blake the other night had 8 points in 25 minutes in the win over UNLV. Prior to that, he was good for 14 points a game. Dropped in there by Wooster.
Wooster's awesome. Looks the part of a veteran, and he was playing as a 2A basketball in Montana. Look, the steal now, just a heady player, understands how to use his body and draw the foul.
Wooster picks the pocket all the way. Hellgate High School, Missoula, Montana. The other night in the loss to UNLV, 9 points, 3 rebounds, couple of steals. He grabs a steal there. This was the starting quarterback. This was the Gatorade Player of the Year 2 times. He threw for 3,400 yards. He ran for 2,000 yards.
They had a pretty good quarterback a year ago at Utah State. He's the one ruffling the feathers of one Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. But hey, if push comes to shove, I want to give this guy a call.
Trevin Darius steps onto the floor. A big fella, by the way, Darius, coming in, a 7-footer. Utah State is the tallest team in Division I basketball. Number 1. 79.31 inches, and they roll 7-footers out there quite a bit. Stanford, the second tallest. Boise State on that list. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing.
I was told it's the way you use it. That's what I was told.
And I'm sure Craig Smith will back that up and see what Darius does, who's a sophomore coming off the bench. The fadeaway triple attempt off the mark. Bryce Hamilton with the miss.
And for those of you who haven't seen UNLV play, Bryce Hamilton has become their star. And the shot he just took is probably one of the biggest weaknesses to his game. He is a tremendous mid-range shooter. Loves to go to that strong left hand. Got a nice little floater. He is a scorer who's learning to be a shooter and a facilitator.
Boy, Bean busy with his feet, but it's swatted away.
Block from Wood.
That's a little dump pass into the corner, and that one dropped in by David Jenkins Jr.
And Jenkins, of course, he only had, I think, 10 the other night, but a big-time shooter when he played for TJ Otzelberger going back to South Dakota State. He struggled some with the shot here at UNLV, but he's put a ton of time in, a ton of time at the practice center. The weak side block from Wood, who gets beat off the dribble but doesn't quit. Bakwe helps him out, walling up, and then you throw it up to Jenkins, and not a great shot, but this is where he made his living. He's had to play some point here. You look, now they're playing him almost completely off the basketball. Here's where TJ Otzelberger is like, look, we got to get David Jenkins back going. Wasn't really a point at South Dakota State. He just played off the ball, and now they're playing him off the ball here, allowing his positive attributes as a shooter to play.
Oh, Wood! He's blocking shots. He's draining threes. This is a shot at 4.
A beautiful set where they really run it for Jenkins. He doesn't have it, throws it back to Wood. We mentioned the stretch 4 and being a little too ambitious trying to block the shot. You know, shooters are funny. You know, some athletes, if you get them a dunk early in the game, now they'll do anything you want. Shooters, you get them an open look and they knock it down. That basket seems to grow by a foot or 2 foot. Now he's hit 2 threes. Now you'll get even better defensive energy out of it.
12-11, so he does go to work defensively. As we told you, he does lead the team in block percentage. He's got a couple in this game already. Couple of misses back-to-back in attempts there, and it bounces free right back into the hands of Stephen Ashworth. Anthony with a miss. And let's watch Bryce Hamilton work. The right turn, up with that left hand, and the jumper right there at the free throw line, short. Quick step penetration, draws a whistle, and they hang one on Hamilton.
Wow. That's how you want to defend. He didn't use his hands. Bryce Hamilton's a kid who came in very highly touted. Of course, he's had cousins play at UConn and UCLA and Texas. You have a Hamilton on the back of your name, you come from Southern California, you could probably hoop and get buckets. He really struggled with his shooting the first half of last year, but TJ has figured out a way to use him, and he has grown more and more comfortable. And he is a burgeoning star in the Mountain West. I use burgeoning. That's a good Scrabble word, right?
Well done. Cowboy education flexing right there. Couple of big fellas battling and just smashed off the glass and a little bit too firm there by Queta.
Queta, not a natural scorer. He's a shot blocker. He is a tremendous athlete. That's the part of his game that still could use some work. Not bad down there. He does have good hands.
So riddle me this. If you, in fact, as we watch UNLV get active, Queta, he is a shot blocker. Not that time, though. And a bucket put away by Jeong. It'll be this. If you built an offense around him a little bit more, could he be more of a scorer?
Yes, but, you know, analytics tells us that's not a great shot anyway.
Understood.
You know, the true post-up game. Wow, what a rebound from Anthony. I see your big guy, Nimi Keita, and Shaken Bakwe says, all right, Pena, it's a much better shot. Get an angle, finish it with the big guy. Rebels up 3 early in Vegas.
Wow. Rams head coach Niko Medved looked to a guy like David Roddy, and he delivered big time. He went for 27 and 15. Remember, Roddy averaging 15 and 9 with 3 assists. I mean, this is just an old-fashioned whipping, and for Boise State, it's their first conference loss of the year.
And, I mean, you shoot 5 of 23 from 3. Obviously, they did a great job of running them off the 3-point line. Colorado State's reward is you get to do it again. You get to do it again. That, of course, in 2 nights in FOCO.
There's the impact of the standings. The net ranking for Boise State, 15. For Colorado State, 55. So we will see. Booster up, a little runner in the lane.
They've got the whole bag. Got the whole bag. And now when you're concentrating on basketball, you get to an off season and get to work on his body. A tremendous year he's having for the Ags.
In an age of specialization, speaking of Worcester, boy, my goodness, Caleb Grill. Great call by you. Up with it quickly. Drains to 3.
Now, Caleb's one of those guys that, I mean, he is just a worker. A worker. And his shot looks better than the numbers would tell you. And Bakay Jeong he's out playing Keita at this point in time. You know, I saw last time we were here, Fresno, UNLV wasn't a particularly aesthetically pleasing game. UNLV kind of survived. And I was in the hallways talking to TJ Altshuler, 6 feet apart, of course.
Well done.
And Shaken Bakay Jeong walked by, and unsolicited, TJ grabbed him. He said, hey, we're going to get you ball next game. We got to figure this out, how to get you the basketball. And TJ just has great feel for his guys in that he understands the mentality. Like, Bakay Jeong's never going to be a 20-a-night guy. But you can get more out of him with everything else if, to start each half, you throw him the ball and you let him do his thing, even if it doesn't turn out great. We just saw him get an angle basket against Keita.
Keita trying to sniff out some scoring that's a little bit out of his range, and that one nearly dropped in, but a missed jump ball, alternating possession, Vegas basketball.
And of course, Keita had a little bit of a tough year last year with the knee injury that was nagging. What a tremendous player he is.
21 career double-doubles. Young man who is out of Portugal, as we talked about. He leads just about in every offensive category for this team. And he slipped away with the basketball, leaving Bakay Jeong wide open to just follow and put it back to bed.
Miller can shoot the basketball.
Yes, he can.
Right? I mean, the one thing Brock Miller from Sandy, Utah can do is shoot that rock. Missed the first jump shots off the dribble, but off the catch, ooh, trouble. Not quite Sam Merrill as a shooter, but man, catch and shoot, he is spectacular.
97 of his 133 attempts this year have been from long distance. Big bang miss there by Nick Blake, well off the mark. An air ball and then a brick that time. Nimi Keita goes to work in the lane. He'll go to the line.
Oh, you mentioned Brock Miller, guy who has just great form, great release, and had such kind of a connection with Sam Merrill, Diogo Brito, Abel Porter, who left after last year, their point guard. And those guys just moved the basketball and played a great symbiotic relationship.
Miller's had some big moments. He's gone for 20 or more 4 times. He's looking back a couple of years ago, dropped 27 on Denver. As a matter of fact, he had a huge game against Colorado State. Recently, he had 6 of 10 from long distance, had 20 points against Colorado State, did Brock Miller. Yeah, that's the one thing Miller and Hamilton for UNLV share in common. They both lit up Colorado State. There's that block, and he does it with regularity. Wood nearly traveled with the basketball. Shot clock at 2. Short, off the mark. Here goes Worcester going to work, and he draws the whistle. Nick Blake, as we said, who's played very well of late, a little bit of a slow start, earns the foul that time.
Well, Nick Blake, they're trying to play him as a point guard. And you look at the shot block leaders. We have 2 of them here on the floor. Of course, Emiketa, when you average basically 3 times more blocks than the nearest competitor in your league.
He's got 52 blocks this year. 2 fouls on Blake.
And the other thing about the blocks is they don't really play a style that can showcase that. You know, when you have that type of skill of blocking shots and not fouling, you really want to get out and pressure and funnel people to your big guy, knowing that he's going to bat that out and change shots. That's not really how, because of some of the lack of athleticism on the perimeter, they play at Utah State. So it could be even better.
Mind if I run a number at you and tell me what it means?
Go.
So we talked about the blocks, right? The 51 blocks, 52 now, dominating in the conference. 2.3 personal fouls per game with all those blocks and all that raw skill. That's a low number.
It is. Now, part of it is, you know, nobody plays true low post basketball anymore where you can draw some of those fouls. But it's a gift to be able to block shots without fouling.
Grill up with it quickly. He is a specialist, isn't he?
Well, now you got Grill and Wood, 2 threes apiece. That should open up the floor. And, you know, Bryce Hamilton hasn't been able to get it going yet, but that will keep the Aggies really on their toes defensively and space the floor out.
Grill's got 8 points.
Just too big, too strong. I think they're going to have to throw a double team with this matchup when Mbake's out of the game.
Yeah, they tried it early and ran him into the corner. But you're exactly right. With Mbake out, a big responsibility for Delcadia.
Delcadia, if you've seen him in person, like, he's a big old boy. So he tries to just chest up. I'm going to just chest up, and I'm just, whoa. He gets pushed into the bucket zone. That's a bucket.
And it was an answer. Mika and Januba are his parents, mom and dad. This was the Mountain West Freshman of the Year, Kate, a couple of years ago. Leads his team in plus minus, in win share, some of the advanced metrics, box plus minus. Well, zips a pass into the corner. Look at that vision. Unable to pay it off that time, Ashworth, but an offensive rebound, knocked away. There's Ashworth again from the corner. Wow! Not pretty, but 3.
Ashworth is one of those scrappers that comes in, just plays hard. If he can make a shot, whew, perfect little backup guard.
He's older, like a lot of the freshmen that will play at Utah, that will play at BYU, yeah, and Utah State. So he's older. Not a real good look for Grill that time, but a confident shooter, as we've talked about. My goodness, Miller up with it quickly. Had a hand in his face as well. Miller's got 3 points, 1 of 4 from the floor. Utah State up 1. 7 minutes till they head into the locker room for halftime.
So Utah State switching everything except these ball screens.
Shot clock 7. Ashworth earns the whistle a long ways away with the team that was in big trouble.
Well, you mentioned Ashworth. The little guy finds a spot in the corner, just little air, set the feet, knock it down. Ags up a point. Under 7 to go in Vegas.
A quick reminder as we welcome you back to Las Vegas that millions of kids nationwide are without their normal access to sports and play due to COVID-19. That's why Fox Sports and Good Sports are restoring play for kids and the programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. Text PLAY to the number on your screen to help keep kids in the game. Again, text PLAY to 36413.
I can only tell you as a father of 3, specifically an 11-year-old boy who just loves to play sports, and it's been a tough time, you know, when kids don't have teams and sports and games to go to.
I would agree. My daughters are past that age, but they're active, obviously, and being around amateur baseball, you know that a ton. Just to see the kids miss it. They miss it. When they can get out, boy, they love it.
I get a chance to coach AAU teams in Orange County and Southern California. And, you know, the best part is not even the games. It's in between the games when you take them to go get a pie, you know, get some Gatorades, and they're just, we're fortunate to have some kids from Los Angeles, from the Long Beach area, from different parts of Orange County. But they're all just kids, chatting, talking, and sharing their IGs and Snapchats. It's pretty awesome.
2 fouls on Anthony, by the way, just a moment ago. Shot clock is at 5. Hamilton, little dump. Grill fades and has a lid on the bucket.
Man, did he just do a Dirk fade?
He nearly dropped that one in.
Did not look bad.
You knew it was headed in that direction. You knew he was going to shoot, and for that to turn out the way it did, it's pretty incredible. 6 minutes to go in this first half.
He's doing a great job on Miller.
Again, similar lid on the bucket, in and out it rings for Justin Bean, the junior from Southmore High School in Oklahoma. Bean's got 5 points. He's got 4 rebounds. He's an offensive rebounding machine.
Moore, Oklahoma has been struck by numerous tornadoes. Of course, the famous May 3rd tornado.
Pretty stroke there from David Jenkins.
You haven't been to Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is Norman, and Moore is right in between the two.
Spent a good deal of time there in the summertime. Oh my goodness. Nimi Keita closes that one. Beautiful pass and a lead from his teammate Ashworth.
A great called set play from his coaching staff.
Down to the hardwood.
Well, they've struggled to get Nimi Keita the ball at the block. So what do? You bring him out high. He reverses the basketball on the handoff. You set a back pick and roll. And when you have the type of shooter you do with Miller, he sets the back screen, and Grill was there to help a little bit, but he's hugging up on the shooter.
Keita's such an interesting player long term when you think of what might be next for him. Understanding that he's still raw.
Oh yeah, 7 foot, 245, and really the game I think will be a little simplified for him once he gets to the NBA, where he's going to be a rim roller and dunk guy. And frankly, getting hurt last year and not going to the NBA draft either of the 2 years, I think is brilliant. I don't think he's as tall as listed. But I also don't think that matters, because he has long arms and big hands, and people don't care anymore.
Penetration up and in. A beautiful look as he turned the corner there. Sean Bairstow, the Australian, averages 5 points a game.
And you say Bairstow in the Mountain West, and everybody just shivers. Another Bairstow? Of course, his older brother Cam was a superstar in this league. Built a little different.
Couple of years with the Bulls, brother Cam. Sis played hoops as well at Utah State. Stephanie.
Cam was the strongest player I've ever seen in the Mountain West Conference. I mean, he was that dude could easily come out and be a bouncer at the best club in Vegas, and nobody messing with him.
Keita's got 6 points. He's got 3 rebounds. That baseline jump hook at the 4-minute mark. Now we go. Utah State up 3. Both teams 14 fouls. Another steal. What a great defender. And a firm lead pass off the hands of Bairstow. It looks like they might have hung a whistle on Wood, and that's exactly what they did. Next level, Gottlieb says they're going to simplify it for him, design plays for him. This man could be an impact player at just a tick under 7 feet. We're in a great city for boxing. Let's talk about it. Saturday, Caleb Plant, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in boxing, puts his perfect record and super middleweight title on the line against Caleb Truax. It's Saturday at 8 Eastern on Fox, on the Fox Sports app.
Throw a little money on that one with the Fox Bet app. Love the sweet science. Throwing hands. Don't want to throw hands at this guy. Nami Keita.
Started 0 for 4 from the floor. Since then, 3 of his last 4.
Well, he got that little jump hook, so he didn't mess around. But also, he got like a little big boy post up. But I think the dunk, again, you have to know what gets a guy going. You get Nami Keita a dunk, and now all of a sudden you're going to get a whole lot more out of him. And I love his evolution as a player and this team's evolution, where they make it a point to throw it inside. Part of it is he is a guy who passes with great energy and passion as well. You are who your best player is. That's the one thing in basketball. And when your best player is your hardest working guy, your team's going to work hard. Your best player is selfish, you're going to be selfish.
There was a time in this series when it was all UNLV. As a matter of fact, they opened this series when they were 2 really different programs.
Yes.
25-0.
Well, look, Stu Morrill's an absolute legend and an incredible basketball coach. And they went from the Big West to the WAC. But they stepped up in weight class, and that was when UNLV was throwing pro after pro after pro.
Right. That's exactly right.
Jenkins steps into another, his second 3. So you have UNLV with 3 players with 2 threes apiece. Not a ton of offense outside of that. Bryce Hamilton hasn't done much of anything.
Booster with the miss. Jenkins on the move as it landed in his basket. Hamilton, those busy feet. Little fade, uses the glass off the mark.
Bairstow did a great job of shading that left hand without completely jumping to the left hand and him take kind of an awkward angle jumper.
It's fun watching Hamilton ISO. It's fun watching him think and go to work, think on his feet.
Wow.
It's fun watching Keita beat a double team.
We'll run it back for you, but Mbake Zhang is a good defensive player. He's in good position, but the foot quickness to fake to the middle, see the double team coming, and just beat Zhang to the baseline to the left-hand lay-in. That's outstanding stuff.
My goodness! Wow, Jenkins. When you feel it, right? You've been there. You've been in that tree.
Might want to check my stats out.
And right back on the other side.
It's like the table down the street, right? Everybody's winning, right? They're going crazy. Everybody's.
Yeah,
then all of a sudden you change dealers and it's over.
Back-to-back long-distance dedications here, Doug.
Call this brother-in-law ball, if you will. You score, I scores. Jenkins steps into one right over Bairstow. Anything you can do, I can do better. No one hedging on that ball screen with Zhang respecting the role of Nami Keita. And that is music to Miller's ears.
Miller's got 6. Wood's got 7. But Jenkins has 13. Jenkins goes to work.
Oh, get that.
Swatted away. That's a couple of blocks in this contest. Boy, Miller wanted to shoot it. Had hands all over him. He still wanted to shoot it. Wooster goes to his left along the baseline. Beautiful pass to Bean, who turns it into a bucket.
Now Utah State's starting to move and starting to cut, starting to feel a little bit.
Their defense starts their offense, and that's what we're seeing with Keita setting up the good passing. Gottlieb and Sutton, glad to have you back in Vegas. We missed you so much, we just brought you right back. He swatted one right back. You see the 2 assists, but Keita also has a couple of blocks.
Well, I mean, Nami Keita, he's starting to play now. Ever since he got that dunk, And he got a little big boy post up. He is playing. You saw David Jenkins drive in there. Like, go ahead, go on in there. No, go, drive. Go ahead, drive in there. Oh, that ball's coming back out.
910 career points for Keita, 642 rebounds coming in.
That's the second time UNLV has a turnover. This one from Blake, the freshman, where they're just assuming, like, fellas, you can't be a robot. Just because we call a backdoor play out of the timeout does not mean you throw the basketball if it's not opening. PJ Otzelberger's clearly frustrated.
Keita works himself free and athletically saves the basketball along the baseline. Wow.
TJ has done an outstanding job. He's a longtime assistant at Iowa State, then to Washington, then back to Iowa State. Finally got an opportunity at South Dakota State. Took them to the NCAA tournament. Now trying to revive this proud UNLV program.
When he hooped at Whitewater, Wisconsin Whitewater. A step back in the lane, fade away. Jean grabs the rebound and throws those elbows out to protect the basketball. 35 seconds. Will swings it right back to Wood with a pretty touch. Nice pass. Way to move the basketball if you're Vegas.
Well, that's called a veer screen. When teams are switching, shooters act like they're going to go set a screen, and then they veer off and set their feet, and you got to whip it right back to them. Beautiful basketball for the Rebs.
37-34. Keita tries to take his team into the locker room. With a bucket, can't do it. Better hurry. Blake launches one, and it's a little bit off the mark and to the right. 37-34. And again, nice little run there. Utah State, 3 of their last 4 from the floor.
And UNLV, the three-point shot keeping them in the game. They got 7 threes in the first half. And Utah State really started to roll offensively as they got Nemi Keita going, but 3 is more than 2. I've told math is important in Sin City. None more so than right here at Thomas and Mack. Come on back in the second half.